Have you ever used an app and instantly known where to tap, how to navigate through the interface? And on the other hand, have you ever opened a website that felt confusing even though all the information was right in front of you? That's the difference between good and bad UI UX design. It's just that great interfaces are not created by accident. Behind every successful product, whether it's Spotify, Uber, Airbnb, Amazon, or Netflix, there are a few core design principles that guide how users see, understand, and interact with the interface. In this video, we're going to explore the most important UI UX concepts every designer should know. And don't worry if you're completely new to design. We're going to keep everything simple, practical, and easy to understand. So let's get started. The first concept is signifiers. Most of the time, when we're using an app or website, we don't spend much time figuring out what we can click and what we can't. For example, imagine you're shopping online and you come across two elements on the screen. One is plain text that says buy now. The other is a button with a distinct color, rounded corners, and a hover effect when you move your mouse over it. Most people would naturally click the button, not because they've been instructed to, but because the design itself suggests that it's interactive. That's the role of signifiers. Signifiers are visual clues that help users understand how an interface works before they interact with it. You'll find them in almost every digital product you use. A search icon indicates where you can search, a grayed out button suggests that an action isn't available at the moment, a highlighted navigation item helps users understand which page they're currently viewing. These may seem like small details, but they reduce uncertainty and make interfaces easier to use. Without signifiers, users would have to stop and figure things out on their own. And in good design, the goal is to make interactions feel as obvious and effortless as possible. Moving on to visual hierarchy. Now imagine you open an Amazon product page and the product image, product name, price, rating, specifications, offers, and advertisements are all displayed using almost the same size, color, and font weight. Not very interesting to look at, right? Now, what if we have another version where the first thing you notice is the product image? Then your eyes move to the product title, after that you notice the price, and finally you start reading specifications and reviews. It's because the page has been designed using visual hierarchy. What's interesting is that nobody tells you to look at the page in that order. The design does. The page has been structured to guide your attention from the most important information to the supporting details. This is called visual hierarchy. It is the way designers organize and present information so users can quickly understand what deserves their attention first. For example, the product image is usually the largest element on the page, so it naturally grabs your attention. The price is often bold and highly visible because it's one of the most important factors in a purchasing decision. Details like specifications and delivery information are still important, but they are displayed in a way that doesn't compete with the primary information. The next concept is white space. When people hear the term white space, they often assume it means empty space that's not being used. In reality, it's one of the most important tools in design. Think about reading an article online. Some articles feel comfortable to read, the headings are clearly separated, paragraphs have breathing room, and images don't compete with the surrounding content. Others feel crowded, everything seems packed together, making the page feel overwhelming before you've even started reading. The difference often comes down to white space. White space is simply the space between elements, it creates separation, improves readability, and helps users focus on the information that actually matters. What's important to understand is that white space doesn't reduce the amount of information on a page, it rather helps users process that information more easily. And as designs become more complex, maintaining that sense of organization becomes increasingly important. That's where grids come in. Grids provide a structure that helps designers align elements consistently across a layout. Whether you're designing for a desktop, tablet, or mobile screen, grids help create a sense of order and balance. At the same time, grids aren't strict rules that must be followed perfectly. They're guidelines that help bring consistency to a design. The goal is not to achieve perfect alignment everywhere, the goal is to create a layout that feels organized and easy to navigate. Once the overall layout is structured, the next step is organizing the content itself. And that's where typography becomes important. Most digital products are made up largely of text. Whether you're using an e-commerce website, a banking app, a learning platform, or a social media application, much of the user experience depends on how information is presented. Typography is the practice of organizing and presenting text effectively. One common misconception among beginners is that typography is mostly about choosing unique fonts. In reality, most successful products use simple and highly readable typefaces. The real challenge is creating a clear hierarchy. Headings should immediately stand out, subheadings should support the main content, body text should be comfortable to read for extended periods, and supporting information should remain accessible without distracting from the primary message. Elements such as font size, font weight, spacing, and line height all work together to create this structure. When typography is done well, users can quickly understand and consume information. When it's done poorly, even great content becomes difficult to read. Once typography helps create structure, color helps create meaning. Many people think of color as something purely visual, but in UI design, color is also a communication tool. It helps users understand what actions are important, what information requires attention, and what state the interface is currently in. For example, success messages are often shown in green, warning messages frequently use yellow or orange, error messages are commonly displayed in red, and interactive elements often use blue because users have become familiar with it as a color associated with actions and links. The key is using color with purpose. If every element on the screen is competing for attention, nothing truly stands out. But when color is reserved for important actions and information, it becomes much more effective. This idea becomes especially important when designing interfaces that support both light and dark themes. Dark mode again has become a standard feature across many modern applications. However, creating a dark mode experience involves more than simply changing a white background to black. Many beginner designs rely on pure black backgrounds and pure white text, which can often feel harsh during extended use. Professional interfaces typically use softer shades of gray and carefully balanced contrast levels. This helps maintain readability while making the interface feel more comfortable to use. Designing for dark mode also introduces another important concept, that is depth. In the physical world, we naturally understand which objects are in front and which are behind. Digital interfaces need ways to communicate that same information. Designers create depth using shadows, elevation, borders, and layering. Cards may appear slightly elevated above a background. Drop down menus often appear to float above surrounding content. Model windows are positioned above the rest of the interface to indicate that they require attention before users continue. These visual cues help users understand how different elements relate to one another. The key is subtleness. Depth should support the experience rather than draw attention to itself. If users notice the shadow before they notice the content, the effect is probably too strong. Now that users can understand the structure of an interface, they need a way to interact with it. This brings us to buttons and icons. Buttons are one of the primary ways users take action within a product. Whether it's signing up, making a purchase, submitting a form, or moving to the next screen, buttons help users accomplish tasks. Because of this, they should be easy to identify and distinguish from surrounding elements. Primary actions should stand out clearly, while secondary actions should remain visible without competing for attention. Icons serve a similar purpose. They help communicate information quickly while saving space on the screen. A search icon, notification icon, or shopping cart icon can often communicate meaning instantly without requiring additional text. However, icons should simplify understanding, not create confusion. If users have to stop and think about what an icon means, it may not be communicating effectively. Good interfaces reduce cognitive effort, and every button and icon should contribute to that goal. The next concept is feedback. Whenever users interact with a product, they expect some indication that their action has been recognized. For example, think about logging into a website. You enter your email, you enter your password, you click the login button. If nothing changes on the screen even for a few seconds, most users start wondering whether the click was actually registered. Did the button work? Is the page loading? Should I click it again? This uncertainty creates friction. That's why good interfaces provide feedback. A loading spinner, a progress indicator, a success message, or even a subtle change in the button state lets users know that the system has received their action and is processing it. Feedback is simply the system's way of communicating with the user. It reassures users that things are working as expected and helps them understand what's happening at every step. Once feedback is in place, designers often enhance the experience further through micro-interactions. Micro-interactions are the small visual responses that happen during everyday interactions with a product. You'll find them in almost every modern application. For example, when you double tap a photo on Instagram, a heart briefly appears on the screen. The action would still work without the animation. The photo could simply be liked in the background, but the animation provides immediate confirmation and makes the interaction feel more satisfying. You'll see similar patterns throughout digital products. A button may slightly change color when clicked, a toggle switch may smoothly slide into place, a copy text message may briefly display a confirmation. These are all examples of micro interactions. Individually, they may seem insignificant, but together they make products feel more responsive, polished, and enjoyable to use. Many of the details users associate with a high quality product often comes from these small moments rather than major features. The final concept we'll discuss is overlays. In many interfaces, designers place text on top of images, videos, or other visual content. This can create a visually appealing design, but it can also introduce a common problem. If the background is too busy, the text becomes difficult to read. To solve this, designers often use overlays, gradients, or background blurs. For example, you might notice a dark, transparent layer placed over a hero image on a website. The image remains visible, but the text becomes much easier to read. The goal is to strike a balance between visual appeal and usability. Users should be able to enjoy the design without struggling to consume the information. And with that, we've covered some of the most important UI UX concepts every designer should understand. What's worth noticing is that none of these concepts are focused on making interface look flashy or complicated. They are focused on helping users understand, navigate, and interact with the product more easily. Whether it's a button, a color, a font, a layout, an animation, or a shadow, every design decision should serve a purpose. Because good design isn't just about how something looks, it's about how easily people can use it. And the best interfaces are often the ones that feel so natural that users barely notice the design at all.